9 News at 4 starts right now.
ICE now says more than a dozen people associated with the Venezuelan gang are in custody. New details of the kidnapping and torture of an Aurora couple.
You will now have to wait even longer to retire. Social Security is bumping up the age requirement. We're hearing from a local expert on what the change means for you.
Hi folks, Merry Christmas.
As most people are ditching cash for online payment, we're discussing the impact that's having on the Red Kettle campaign.
And just days before the ban on TikTok is set to happen, new hope for the app. The nation's highest court is set to hear arguments on the case.
And as we reach 4 o'clock today, federal immigration officials confirming that 16 people are in custody in Colorado after a kidnapping and assault at that Aurora apartment complex. Thanks for joining us at 4. I'm Tom Green.
And I'm Kim Christensen. ICE says the 16 are Venezuelan nationals and in the U.S. without proper documentation. ICE also confirmed that these people are suspected to be associated with the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. On Monday night, Aurora police say a man and a woman were kidnapped at the Edge of Lowry apartments. Investigators say the couple was restrained, pistol whipped, and one of them stabbed before being released by the suspects. An ICE spokesman says the 16 detainees will remain in custody at the detention center Aurora. So what happens now when people are in ICE custody? 9 News reporter Mark Salinger is chasing down the answers to that. He'll have that tonight on Next with Kyle Clark. We should also mention yesterday, Aurora police said 19 people had been taken into custody. We are still working to learn more if the other 3 people are still being detained. Wheat Ridge police say overall crime is down in the city, except for one category. The department says it's tracking an uptick in thefts. 9 News reporter Janelle Finch is in Wheat Ridge to tell us how officers say that they are cracking down. Janelle?
Tom, Kim, Wheat Ridge police are getting very familiar with this part of town. They say that Applewood Village Shopping Center is one of its top locations for calls for service. Now, most of those calls are coming in to the King Soopers just down the way, but that doesn't mean that crime isn't spilling into its neighbors. What's good in Wheat Ridge can't be made up.
Crime is down for the 3rd straight year in Wheat Ridge since it peaked in 2021.
There's just one blemish police can't cover up.
But there's one category that's been stubborn for us, and that is theft.
Alex Rose works for Wheat Ridge Police. He says theft increased 10% in 2024 compared to 2023.
It could be somebody stealing money from an account that you have. It could also be things like shoplifting, which is something that we publicize a lot.
Shoplifting like this. Just a few weeks ago, police say 2 men walked into a beauty supply store off Youngfield Street near I-70. Rose says they stole nearly $3,000 in high-end perfume.
It is kind of wild to see how brazen it is, you know, no masks or anything like that. You just walk in, start grabbing stuff off the shelf, and you're out in 90 seconds.
Wheat Ridge Police says it's taking theft seriously and seeing results. Last Wednesday, officers arrested 10 shoplifters across multiple stores.
In that operation, we also recovered about $2,000 worth of stolen goods.
Wheat Ridge Police hopes by this time in 2025, the department will have flawless crime stats.
We want to do our job and do our part of shining a light on some of these issues so we can have a conversation about it and try to address it as a community.
Wheat Ridge Police say they will continue to work with stores to set up similar operations like the one where officers arrested 10 people. In addition to that, they are also working to increase their presence during the holiday season here in the plaza specifically. The 2 Ulta suspects have not yet been arrested or identified. Live in Wheat Ridge, Janelle Finch, 9 News.
All right, Janelle, thanks. A man is now facing charges for the crash that killed 3 people, including 2 CDOT workers. 59-year-old Patrick Snedden was arrested last week and will face 3 counts of vehicular homicide while under the influence. He's also being charged with felony failure to move over for utility workers. It was back in September that 23-year-old Nathan Jones and 43-year-old Trenton Umberger were doing maintenance work on the side of Highway 6. The passenger in Snedden's car was also killed.
Let's take a live look outside right now. Our latest storm has moved on out of Colorado. Here's a live look out near Loveland right now. Nice day out there. They got a few fresh inches of snow. Fresh is always better, Kathy.
Yeah.
The new stuff.
I know, heading into the weekend in just a few days, it's going to be great for skiing and snowboarding. It's just getting to the weekend if you got to drive across the foothills because the wind is coming back. You might have noticed that big mountain wave cloud today. That's going to bring us a beautiful sunset tonight. If you have a picture, send that in and I'll post it here on 9 News at 9 and 10. The winds are expected to ramp up here within the hour west of town. Temperatures today, we're still at 52 in Denver, but we've had some colder readings. The cloud cover certainly making it feel colder than that Fahrenheit temperature. Pretty gusty in Broomfield right now. Genesee, 44-mile-per-hour gusts in the Loveland Pass area. High wind warning goes out at 5 o'clock for the Front Range foothills. Unfortunately, we could be looking at wind gusts to 80 miles per hour. This will continue through much of the day tomorrow. Downtown, relatively calm, mild and dry for the next few days, but the high wind warning, something we'll be profiling as we move over the next 24 to 36 hours ahead of a really nice Christmas outlook. Look at the cloud deck coming in. This ahead of a system that's actually located from Salt Lake City into Billings. The area of low pressure is over the northern plain states, bringing in that west to northwest flow, creating that mountain wave cloud. So those gusty winds will translate down to the surface a little bit, but the further west and the further you go up in elevation, the worse the wind will be, and that'll take you through tonight and tomorrow morning. We're in the 40s now for Denver. We'll stay there until after sunset. Coming up, a detailed look at the extended forecast along with the Christmas holiday outlook. That's coming up.
A person in Louisiana has been hospitalized with a severe case of bird flu. The CDC says it's both the first severe case and the first case linked to a backyard flock in the United States. The virus is the same type linked to recent human cases in Canada and the state of Washington. The CDC says the immediate risk from bird flu remains low, but shows precautions should be taken by people with backyard chicken flocks as well as hunters and other bird enthusiasts. Tonight, police and federal agents continue to try to find the motive behind that deadly school shooting in Madison, Wisconsin.
The community is shattered by the attack that happened earlier this week and now struggling to move forward, while they also remember those lost and injured. Jay Gray has a closer look.
It is hard to see a community like this being so torn apart.
Madison, Wisconsin, grieving.
We are heartbroken.
A teacher and teenager killed, 6 others injured. Police say a classmate, 15-year-old Natalie Ruppnow, who they say also goes by Samantha, opened fire inside a study hall at Abundant Life Christian School before taking her own life. As investigators continue to search for evidence and answers about how and why it happened, this community is also wrestling with difficult questions.
How many more lives need to be lost? How many more lives need to be taken for people to wake up? I mean, our children, our loved ones are stuck between a crossfire. When is it enough? When is it enough?
For many,
to find somebody next to you and offer them a hug. Let us remind each other that we are loved, that we are valued, and we are not alone in this difficult time.
there is a comfort that comes in being together.
We will get through this, and we will get through this together by relying on each other and by taking care of each other.
Support they will need for a long time here. Jay Gray, NBC News.
Workers at a dozen unionized Starbucks in Colorado could be going on strike. This week, the union voted to authorize a strike. The union plans to meet with the company this week for their last scheduled bargaining session of the year. 98% of union workers agreed to strike if they don't like the offer. In late February, Starbucks and the union announced they would work on a foundational framework on how to reach a collective agreement for stores. Next month, there are some changes coming when you receive your Social Security retirement benefits. The age to receive full benefits is being pushed back 2 months, effective January. For those born in 1959, the age will be 66 years old and 10 months. For anyone born in 1960 or later, the full retirement age jumps to 67. You can still claim benefits as early as 62, but the benefits won't be in full. You can also claim after the full retirement age and receive more Social Security benefits the longer you wait. Gregory Clifton, a professor at MSU Denver, says pushing the age back is just all about saving Social Security.
Well, I think part of Congress's concern is whether or not Social Security will continue to be available for generations of Americans to come. And the idea, of course, is not unlike any other budget. You want to try and minimize the expenses that are going out of there, especially to the extent that you are spending more money than you're taking in.
That's the way it goes, right?
May not matter to some people, but some people I know
are deeply impacted.
paying attention to those numbers. You're kind of.
It does seem like, I mean, later and later and later.
Yeah, it's always tough, especially when you start to make plans in your life and they
Right.
start moving the finish line a little bit.
Even 2 months means a big deal
Well,
when they
it
say
certainly
that.
can.
Yeah,
It's gonna
I mean,
be a big difference. I'm kind of surprised they haven't run it by me.
well, I don't understand it either. They should have just called first.
Want some
Check in.
expertise on what old people think.
Or me.